You want to check your piety? Let me give you 3 tests. And there are of course many other tests, but these are 3 of them. Number 1, of the ways you really test your taqwa and iman, look at the quality of your worship when you are alone. Look at how much and how peacefully and how much humility you have when you worship Allah and there are no eyes on you. What is the level of your tilawah of the Quran? What is your level of salat and nawafil in your house? What is the level of tahajjud? What is the level of your secret charity that nobody knows about? Yes, it's good to have a public fundraiser and raise your hands. Yes, it's good to come to Taraweeh every Ramadan, every day in Ramadan. Yes, it's good to come to Jumu'ah. These are all good signs, but these are not definitive. These are not the end all. These are feeble and potentially not definitive. People might have the public rituals, but if they have nothing in private, if you are only worshipping Allah when people's eyes are on you, that is a problem. That is a huge problem. Make sure when nobody is watching, you have a healthy dose of private rituals. Now, realize some people say, one of the Salaf actually said, one of the great scholars of the past said, that the highest level of Iman is that you worship Allah in secret as you worship Allah in public. That is correct. Nobody can deny that. But I want to be a little bit more practical. The aspect and the issue of sins. We all commit sins. Don't expect that simply because you're committing sins, this means you have no Iman or a lack of Iman. We all commit sins. And the righteous person will be embarrassed of his or her sins, and the righteous person will indeed commit sins in private. Nobody's denying this. Of course, to not commit any sins is best, and that's the highest level. But you may have a level of piety, and you are committing sins. That is the reality. Make sure you're repenting to Allah, make sure you're making istighfar. That is the reality. So to commit sins is not good. But some people come and say, if I'm committing sins in private, I must do them in public as well. No. If you're going to commit a sin, have some haya of the people, have some haya of Allah Azza wa Jal, ask Allah for istighfar, no doubt about that. The real test is not sins or lack thereof, because only the highest of the high will absolutely leave committing any type of such sins. The real test, when no eyes are on you, how much khushu' do you have in your salah? What is the quantity of your salah? What is the quality of your tilawah? How much charity are you giving that even your spouse does not know about? That is one symptom of Iman, one filter test, one litmus test, how much faith that you have. A second litmus test that I remind myself and all of you. A second litmus test is, how do you react in the face of a calamity and tragedy? Once again, it is very easy to lull yourself into a false sense of confidence. My Iman is strong when the things are good, when life is good, when the money is there, when the health is there, when the family is there, when the job is there, when everything is fine. It's very easy to feel my Iman is strong. What will happen at the first stroke of calamity? How does one react? How much sabr is manifested? How much Iman in Allah Azza wa Jal? How much rida, contentment of Allah's qadr? What is the yaqeen? Where is the tawakkul? All of this will be manifested within the first few minutes of hearing about the tragedy. This is a litmus test of Iman, brothers and sisters. How does one react at the very first stroke of a calamity? As soon as you find out a news that is devastating, does your heart turn to Allah? Do you take comfort in turning to Allah, making dua? Or is there an emptiness? Is there a sense of complete rejection? How can this be happening? And that's why Allah describes the believers who الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. This is a sign of Iman. When the musibah happens, yes, it's painful. Nobody's going to take that pain away. Having Iman does not take the pain away. But having Iman, when the tragedy happens, it links you to Allah immediately. This is of the ultimate litmus test of the strength of your Iman. How do you react to tragedy? How much sabr you have? How much tawakkul? How much is your Iman in Allah's qada and qadar? Your realization, Allah has willed this, I need to accept it at some level. There must be a wisdom even if I don't understand. That realization, it is a sign and proportional to your Iman. That's your true litmus test there. And a third litmus test, and again, this is a short khutbah, many more can be given. The third litmus test of one's Iman is how you treat other people. Not the people in the masjid, not your acquaintances, not your colleagues. No, how you treat the closest people in your lives that nobody else knows about. Your family, your children, your wife. And how you treat those who make you angry. How do you react when your true colors are shown? When somebody enrages you and you want to do something, say something, act. Can you control your akhlaq in that stage? You want to see your real Iman? Then see how you treat vulnerable, your children, your wife. See how you treat those when your anger is boiling inside of you. If you really have strong Iman, this is a test here. Because Iman controls akhlaq. Iman dictates your actions. Yes, you're going to feel angry. In fact, the Sahaba recognized when the Prophet ﷺ was angry. How did they recognize? From his face, not from his actions. They could see the anger in his face. They knew he was controlling the anger. So when somebody makes you angry, you're going to get angry. Again, Iman is not going to take the anger away. Somebody says something nasty. Somebody does something they shouldn't do. And you have every right, maybe even in the Sharia, you might have the right to do back unto them the exact same thing. And that's allowed, but it's the lowest level of Iman. The higher level of Iman, you control that anger, and then you act in a wise manner, in a manner that is befitting, in a manner that is dignified. The mu'min is never vulgar. The mu'min is able to control anger. The mu'min's Iman is shown through akhlaq. When your wife, when your children can testify, this is a man of character. When your own family knows you are a man of your word, that is a sign of Iman. It is very easy to have two faces. Wallahi, it is so easy. In front of us, here in the masjid, you have Mr. Nice Guy. And as soon as you go back home and the door shuts, that is where your real Iman is shown.